In this video we're going to talk a little bit more about the Sextante graphical modeler. The graphical modeler is the tool that we can use to link several different algorithms and to create a big one that does all the work done by all these algorithms separately. Let's see an example to see what that means. I'm going to open the toolbox and I'm going to execute an algorithm named topographic indices. Here it is, and as you can see we need a slope layer and a flow accumulation layer. Both of them are raster layers. But right now I just have one layer, which is a detail elevation model. That means that I cannot execute this algorithm because I do not have the necessary data. However, it would be nice to have an algorithm that goes from the detail elevation model to the topographic indices directly without having to perform these intermediate steps of calculating slope and calculating flow accumulation. I can do those steps also here in Sextante. I can execute this slope directly from the elevation, from a detail elevation model, and also I can calculate the flow accumulation. Here it is, using the elevation as the input. But instead of having to execute these three algorithms, it would be nice to have just one that performs all that. And that's what we can do with the modeler. We can link different algorithms, we can define a workflow that takes some kind of input and then process that input through several algorithms, several single algorithms among the ones that we can find in the toolbox. Here it is, the interface of the graphical modeler, and I'm going to open a model that I have previously created, which is called topographic indices as well, and summarizes all that process that I have described. We take a detail elevation model, this cross here means that this is an input, and then uses this detail elevation model to calculate flow accumulation. Before that it performs another calculation, which is sink fill-in. It's something that has to be done before using a detail elevation model as the input for the flow accumulation. And also from the detail elevation model it performs this other calculation, calculates slope, and then joins the result of the slope algorithm and the flow accumulation algorithm to calculate topographic indices. This is all done in one step. And to create this workflow, to define this workflow, what I have to do is to define the inputs and then define the processes. And you can see here two tabs, inputs and processes. And in the next videos we will see how to create this model from scratch, how to define it, define the inputs that it needs and the processes that have to be executed.